Welcome to DealStory. We have what's it called, Ellen? The Creative Moms Group in
We
real estate?
are a group called the Creative Real Estate Moms, and we have a Zoom and a chat called Moms Connect.
So tell me about your group. How'd you guys get started? What was the reason behind your founding and how many members do you have?
Yeah, so we got started. I was just a newbie in the creative real estate world. I'm a mom, a stay-at-home mom, and it all seems so new and scary to me. And initially, I just put a Facebook post out there, trying to connect with other moms who've done it to learn from them. And based off the responses from that, I saw that there was a lot of us trying to navigate this world, but didn't have the support. So there was just kind of a need for it. I started connecting with other moms, and we were like, let's get a Zoom together. And quickly it turned from a Zoom into a whole group. And we've really been able to build a support system inside of Sub 2 and all the other creative communities to
Mhm.
network together, learn from each other, and even do deals together.
Oh, wow. So you're doing deals?
Yeah, it's been really cool, like reaching out to the group and see who has the skills or resources to help one another to get things done and just to be that go-to place to get information or even resources.
And some of the things that I've learned is that you guys get some really cool speakers, women that are highly successful. And like, tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we've been lucky to have people on. Let's see, we've had, I'm blanking, guys. Help me out, Hannah.
Anybody can jump
Well,
in.
we're about to have Laura Morby on. That's all I know.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah,
Have Lucian
Ashley
here.
Mason. I'm sorry, TCs, don't kill me.
Yeah.
Ashley, don't kill me. She's who I was thinking of. We've had Ashley come and speak to us. We've had different people in the community doing all different things. We've had Audrey Blotz, who is a capital raiser,
Oh,
private
wow.
investor, talk to us about that side. And yeah, we are really excited about Laura coming to speak to us soon. She's a busy lady, but
Mhm.
I think she sees how impactful this group has been. And so we're excited to have her come.
One thing that touched my heart was the mission that you guys are doing right now. Like, can you tell me about the mission that you guys have as a group?
Yeah, we started this group. By the way, guys, I was checking before this Zoom, and it's only been 5 months. We started this 5 months ago. We have, I think, 120 members at this point.
Oh, wow.
Um, it's grown really quickly, and one of my favorite things that we've done, our normal Zooms kind of look like we share challenges and wins and brainstorm things together, but we've also had the guest speakers, and one of our last guest speakers came on and really challenged our group like, hey, you want to start investing and learning and doing deals, just do them together. You have a network of people here, so it really resonated with a lot of us. And so now we have a new goal to start. We're in the brainstorming phases of it, but into 2026, we're going to buy a property together. And as a group,
Wow.
start growing our assets, our knowledge, people can chime in and shadow, or they can be a part of the process. So
I think one of the cool things that I love about it is that I was talking to you and you said that people are in the side chat in your Zooms, like doing deals live in the side chat. That's
yeah, so
really
cool to see.
good. And the other thing that I liked is it's messy being a mom. Like with like two, three kids, you're not expecting people to come. Like they can come in their jammies, right? If they need to.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite part. It's in the morning. It's early, especially for you Pacific women, but we just show up ourselves. Our kids are there. They're talking to each other. They're making us laugh. We look a mess, and it's so fun just to be able to show up and not have to put on a face for anybody or explain anything. Your kids yelling, it doesn't matter.
Right. You know
Yeah.
what I'm going to do at the end of this is I want to ask the moms in the group what it's meant to you guys. But we're going to move into the demo. And like what you told me, Ellen, is because you know a little bit about Deal Story is just how it can help you guys with the mission that you have there, but also the other moms. And I know that across your network of all these moms, there are so many different avatars. We have transaction coordinators. We have what we call bird dogs. These are the people that are working the leads. We have buyers of commercial assets and single family homes. They're doing all kinds of things, multifamily, mobile home parks, RV parks, car washes, you name it. We have people that either need underwriting or are underwriters. lenders, private money lenders, capital raisers. There's just like every avatar in your group, which is really cool. So that fits DealStory perfectly. So let me tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Clint Carter. I'm the founder of DealStory.com. And for 20 years, I've been leading software development teams, taking other people's ideas and turning them into $1 million software products. So now I'm taking those skills to bring you DealStory.com. So what is DealStory.com? It's really hard to put it in a nutshell, but here it is. If Crexy is the place where you list your business to sell, it's like the MLS for listing businesses. DealStory is where the deal gets done. From taking the lead to LOI, to doing the underwriting and due diligence, to getting the funding, to doing the capital raising, to closing with your TC and making the deal happen. But it's really more than that. So DealStory has become more than a software platform. It's turned into, I want to say, a movement is what it feels like. And what I really love is it's turning into a community. And we're going to talk about DealStory community at the end. I know that some of you know about it, and I absolutely love it. It's more than doing deals. It's actually going in the community and working with each other and helping others. So DealStory is an ecosystem that started with one idea, and that was to help me stay accountable. And I would say that DealStory, from an emotional perspective, and maybe you ladies can chime in on this for the few that have started using the network relationship, is it holds me accountable in a way that doesn't make me feel bad. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and it's also motivational. So we're going to go in and talk about that. I'm underwriting so fast now that it's not even funny. And I feel so much more confident about my underwriter. And I hear that from others as well. So let me just talk about, we're going to talk about 5 things in the demo. Not 100, just 5. You'll find that once you get in there, there's a lot to learn. It's mostly intuitive, and we'll talk about it. So we're going to talk about building relationships. We're going to talk about accountability. We're going to talk about how we take our leads and make sure they meet our buyer's buy boxes before we even bring it to the buyer. So talk about being confident in what you bring. We're going to talk about underwriting at hyperspeed. And if we have time, I might take you guys behind the scenes to see some of the strategic partner stuff. So now, with that said, let's move. I'm going to move my screen over and I'll let you guys tell me, do you see DealStory and the Zoom itself? We're going to be working in a circle, but we're going to go this direction, except we'll save DealStory community for last. We're going to talk about building relationships. We're going to talk about accountability next, and sifting signal and buy boxes and those types of things. But I wanted to give you a look at what's coming. We will have a buyer's network, a capital raisers network, an investors network. These are people that are looking for deals. Maybe they're trying to find buyers to buy deals or partner with. We're going to have a lenders network, an underwriters network, transaction coordinators. I'm actually super excited about this after talking to Ellen about this transaction coordinator work where we can give you the tools, the pro tools you need, all in one spot where you're doing all your networking, everything, and running your files in one area. But we'll talk about that later. So as you can see, it's an ecosystem that continues growing. Now we're going to focus on building relationships first. And what I would say about, we call this DealStory Connect. And when you're in DealStory, if you just go to the network tab, you'll see all the networks we're getting. And we call it DealStory Connect right now. And it's really like a digital Rolodex, but with a twist. And I like to show it by showing how it works first. A lot of people network with the idea that I want to figure out what I can get out of you. My networking, the way that we do this, and I really get this from Pace Morby, is we want to be go-givers. I think in anything that you do in life, you're going to get more out of giving than you are from taking. And it's true in doing deals. So I want to start off with finding their Mount Everest. Like, what are they climbing towards? Because that'll tell me how I can bring value to them. And the next thing I want to do, and this was powerful, I was in a meeting where Pace, we're asking him, well, how do you remember people's names so good? Because he remembers people's names like super well. He's like, well, I find out what their superpower is, and I say it back to him. And that stuck with me, and I've used it ever since then. And so when I built this, I immediately thought, well, that's got to go in there. And so I'm going to show you that. We can come back to some of this other stuff later. Now, when you go to add a contact, and there's no rocket science behind it, right? It's just, I need to add the contact, give them their name, where they live. If they have a bling card, you can put it here and open it, and I'll show you how that becomes really useful later on. If they have social media, you can add it here, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or podcast. I've got some people on here that have podcasts, are pretty cool, in my contact list. And then how we met. You want to put this in, how'd you meet? What day did you meet? What's your Mount Everest? How can you bring them value? What do you have in common? And, oh, I don't have the vibes showing up right here. So we have a new thing called vibes. It's not showing up right now because I haven't published it quite yet for everywhere. But and it's a way to say, like, this is a hot lead. These are my people, future besties, those types of things. Like, how it's like, these are let me go to superpowers. So superpowers are, sorry about my ADHD jumping around here, but like, let's just say they're an RV park buyer, or they're an RV park owner or consultant, or maybe they are an integrator, which means they're kind of the behind the scenes person. They're the ones that makes the business run. Some people would call them a COO of a business, chief operating officer. They make everything happen. Or maybe they're direct to seller. These are their skills. So we think of superpowers as sort of their skills. We think of their Mount Everest as how can we help them? And we think of the vibes as like, how do we feel about them? So what's really cool about this is I can be about to go into a meeting, and I can hover over this right here, and it gives me all this detail really, really quickly. Lets me see, like, how do we meet? What's a Mount Everest? How can I bring value? All these things. Oh, look, I have vibe here, but it's sort of halfway showing up. It just what's showing up in the create contact. Like future bestie, like, I like this guy. He's going to see this video and go, okay. Anyway, very smart guy. And then we have our touch points. So if I have to go in and do a meeting with them, not have to, but get to, I'll add a touch point and remind myself about this. When I put something in that's new, pretty much I just put Monique in just before this meeting. But I'll pretty much immediately schedule a follow-up. Like, I don't know anything about them yet. They're just reached out to me. I'll put in here, schedule a follow-up. Why is that important? This is accountability at the next level in networking, because I don't know about you, because I want to hear how you feel about this, because for me, I was terrible at networking before DealStory Connect. I would try to put things in Excel. I would try to follow up, and I just didn't happen. And I was awful at it. So I want to hear from you ladies. What do you think?
I know that the follow-up thing has been a game changer for me. And also, I'm doing all this networking in Messenger, and then I just forget everything about them. So it's been a great place to, like, really put that in there to make sure I follow up. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I was going to say the same thing. I've been networking for months and months. And some people, if they, like, no offense, but if they don't stand out to me, I forget about them and I forget to follow up. So that's so many potential leads falling through the cracks. Whereas with DealStory, you now have that reminder to follow up with them. And then what I like is what to follow up about. Like, hey, did you find that short-term rental you're looking for? Did you find this? How can I help? I love that so much. It's really kind of life-changing.
Let me talk about the future. So the future of this is that you'll be able to say, hey, I'm looking for a capital raiser, for instance, and you don't have one in your network. You can search your network to find out who has a capital raiser in the network. Now, we're not going to tell you who that capital raiser is. We're going to send you on a quest. We're going to tell you, okay, it is Luz Mary. Luz Mary knows someone with the last name of this. You need to go talk to them, find out who they are, get connected, and then network your way to that capital raiser. Could we give you that capital raiser's name? Yeah, but it's not permission based, right? So it needs to have some permission, and you need to give your network that chance to do what they love best. Who here loves connecting people? But the other thing is the follow-up insights. So as you continue to gain and add people in here, we'll start adding insights about about you. And this is not to kick you when you're down. This is to help you realize, like, when are you networking the best? Like this one says, hey, I connect most on Tuesday, like, and we continue adding different tiers as you get more, because these are like stats for baseball. The more stats we have, the more we can tell about your habits and help you learn, because maybe you're weak. Maybe you're only connecting one day of the week. And so I would say this, my Zoom schedule, my meeting schedule is off the hook better right now. I was doing 1 or 2 Zooms a month. I'm doing 1 to 2 Zooms a day right now. I take every opportunity to schedule, follow up, make Zooms happen now. But before I move into the next thing, because we're going to take you out of building relationships to our next area. Any ideas that you have about this could make it better, or thoughts or questions? If you don't, that's fine.
Maybe this is just the competitive side of me, but I want to see who I'm competing with to be on the top. Because right now I'm second. Somebody booted me from second place, and it's very highly upsetting. I was in first.
I have it developed. It is there. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I am highly competitive, being a coach for many years. So I have it there. I can tell you who's in first and second place, but I haven't put it in front of everybody yet. So my idea with that, Hannah, we talked about this, right? I think maybe with Ellen, is that if you're first, I want to put your name in lights. I want people across the DealStory network to see you and say, well, she's networking great. I want to go meet her. So
yeah, that's what I want too. I wanted to say transaction coordinator too. It needs to show my avatar.
Okay, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. So, I mean, that's going to make you work hard, right?
Yes.
You'd be pissed off at Tara. Damn it, get off there. I want to be one.
Are you first, Tara?
She is right now. That's okay.
Oh my gosh.
You know, the momentum here, you can go in, you can click these buttons. So you'll find these buttons throughout DealStory. Anytime there's like an area to learn from, it'll tell you about this. What does this mean? What does this mean? We have these kind of tooltips all over the place. We're continuing to add them. So if you're unsure about things, you'll see these all over the place. And if you're in DealStory and you're like, Clint, I don't know how to use this, I don't see a tooltip, let me know. It'll be there by the next day, if not that day. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. So I'm going to take you back to DealStory here. So when I first created DealStory, it wasn't DealStory. It was really just me solving a pain point. And one of my pain points was I wanted to hold myself accountable to a volume of leads. And I wanted to do it in a way that didn't feel, make me feel bad. But I needed a way to sift the signal from the noise. And if you know anything about like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, what you find out is these guys are masters at sifting the signal from the noise, which means only focusing on the things that are important. The noise or the leads that aren't things that we care about. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll enter all my leads enter a few things about the lead itself. I put them in a review status. And then as I cultivate this lead, I'm going to move it to different status. So if it's noise, I'm just going to say it's either qualified or it's not a fit. So for me, not a fit means it's not a fit now. Like I'm working on an RV park deal that's $4.5 million. It's not worth $4.5 million. It's not worth $3.5 million. It's maybe worth $3 million. And they came down to 3.5 and they haven't come down. So it's not a fit now, but it might be a fit in the future. So I don't want to totally get rid of it. I still want to follow it. So what I want to do with this is hit not a fit and then set a follow-up on it and come back into it, a few months from now and check in, see how they're doing, see if things have changed. And then of course, if it's qualified or top priority, I need to be focused on this and finding a buyer. Just a quick thing about this area is we keep the important things right in the middle, which is the price, the NOI, and the cap rate. And if you don't know what these things are, we're going to be teaching you. I'll put some info things here. This particular view itself is really specific to RV parks. So coming down the road, if you're doing mobile home parks, we can make views that are specific to that. Or if you're doing co-living, and we'll make views that are generic, can work with any kind of lead as well. But the cool thing about this being an RV park view is that I can do things like add these indicators that says this one's in a destination location, it's by water, it's got upside potential. This one's a creative deal. It's probably seller finance. It's also in a destination and it's off market. As we look down, this is a deal that I'm bird dogging. This means I'm trying to find a buyer who will take this and pay me an assignment fee for them to buy that park because I found the deal. And then in DealStory, we provide a way for you to actually find buyers and negotiate that with them. So this allows me to go in, work on the lead, come here and sift that signal from the noise very, very quickly. And then when I'm ready, I can promote it to a deal, which goes into our deal pipeline, which is up here. Now, I'm just going to do a very quick run through of the leads area. And because we can spend a very long time in here going over all the different features that are here. But some of the features that we're going to do is we're going to look at like what's the name of it, what type of business type it is, because this is a multi-asset platform. We can do all kinds of assets that are in here. Because it's an RV park, we can set the number of units, the location, the financial details. Now this is cool. So in the financial details, it gives you this little calculator that lets you like determine whether or not this deal actually pencils or not very quickly. So I can set the asking price in here. I can put the operating, like what is the NOI? And if you don't know what NOI is, you can click here and we'll tell you what NOI is. You usually get that in the Crexy that you're looking at or wherever you're getting it from. You can come say, well, I want to play around with the down payment and see what my cash flow would be. And this is not a good deal, right? This is a horrible deal. So let's just play with it a little bit. Let's just say it's more like 700,000. That would make it a 10 cap. So if you don't know what a cap is, we're going to have that show you what a cap rate is. But you can see what my cash flow is. I think everybody understands what cash flow is, right? That's what's left over at the end of the day after we paid all the bills and we paid our mortgages. I get to put it in my bank and take it home, right? And so we can play around and decide, like, what if I go 6.5 inch right here? Or what if we think it's going to be a seller finance deal? And like, what does it look like then? This is a great deal. We should get it, right? So it's a really quick way to do some what ifs. And the other thing is like, you can come here and you can click little things like, if it's an RV park, does it have city water, shared septic? Does it have a full hookups, restrooms, laundry facilities? And you're just checking off what it has. This is a great area that when you're talking to brokers, let's say that you're just not an RV park expert. You can go down and ask, like, does it have full hookups of this? You can tell them, look, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to qualify this lead for my buyer. So can you help me go through this? Can we jump on a Zoom and look at it? And just check them all off. So what does this do for you? If you remember earlier, I said DealStory allows you to move faster and more confidently in bringing your buyer the deal, right? So let me go here to like last 3 months. So here's an example of a deal. We have in DealStory something called the BuyBox Network. And in DealStory, you can set up your BuyBox for any kind of asset class, whether it's an RV park, multifamily, co-living, and you can have multiple buy boxes in the same asset class. So for instance, maybe you have RV parks that are in a city that are all long-term based, and then you have another buy box that's for your destination RV parks. Or maybe you have co-living and this is co-living you're saying that it has to be close to a hospital, and that's your buy box, different types of co-living buy boxes. Then you can take your buy box and put it on the DealStory network. Now this is the cool part. This means that everyone that's on the network that has a lead can now shop their lead against your buy box. So what it's doing is it's shopping the lead and it's saying, oh, I found 2 hits that you match their buy box, and the rest of them are not hits. Now, this one is actually higher than all these, and we'll come back and look at why real quick. And one of the things that we do in DealStory, this is common throughout, is it's narrative. That's part of the reason we call it story, is that when we go here, it's going to give a narrative of why this is working. It's saying, hey, Mr. Bird Doggy, you need to bring this to your buyer, and this is why you need to bring it. And for the buyer, it's saying, hey, it almost hit your 3 million target. It's a little over, basically, but it's within your tolerance. Now, visionaries that I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of really successful people developing this out, they don't like seeing the numbers. They like seeing the narrative. But for those that like the numbers, and you can come down and actually see that this buy box our buy boxes have must-haves, preferreds, and nice-to-haves. Must-haves mean you really need to hit it, but the problem is I know I can negotiate an RV park down or a deal down. So if I want to have a deal at 3 million, then I'm going to set my tolerance level up to maybe 4 million, because I'm probably going to be able to get a lot off this deal. And then that way I don't, that way I don't filter deals out. Like my bird dogs can bring me the things that I want. And so it shows you what we hit. Now, let me go talk about Liz Ann real quick. We didn't match her buy box. And what you'll see is that like it hits all the must-haves. So why didn't it work? And it says, well, because the preferreds need 50% and you only have 45%. And well, let's look at why. So now I could go down and look at why. In fact, it told me, here's your next steps. You should go do this. And just come down and say, well, does it have a dog park? Well, yeah, it does. Well, let's check it. Does it have parks nearby? Yeah, let's check it. Does it have multiple revenue streams? Let's check that. There's a really good chance that this is really a deal that's going to work for her and she's going to want to see it. You just need to know what to check. So I'm going to stop for a second and ask, what your thoughts are on the buy boxes. What do you guys think?
I love it. Because I bird dog and try to find deals with somebody that specifically buys RV parks, and I keep having to reference her buy box and look for her flyer, and I have a sheet with it, but there's so many sheets, so to have that just to like at a quick glance is a game changer.
Well, that's cool. So she doesn't have DealStory yet. So you could probably get with her and show her and say, let's define your buy box. And now you'll have it sitting there. And so you're going to be kind of frustrating when you take her leads and they don't quite match, right? Okay. Thank you. That's a really good feedback there. Okay, so I'm going to move on and talk just about a few more things that are inside. Of course, you can filter this in lots of different ways. One of the things that, let's take this to this year, all statuses. So if you are, let's say you're a buyer of businesses, you come across a lot of leads that just don't fit your buy box, but they do fit other people's buy boxes. Well, that's pretty cool. Somebody's able to draw on the screen. I don't know how you do that, but I like it. And so you can keep these on here and you can actually bird dog those with, and they'll come to you and say, well, do you have anything in a destination location? Yeah, and with water features, maybe it's by a lake or something. You can sift this and go and quickly find deals that you have in your pipeline. It's not really pipeline, but find it, share it with them, and make it happen. Accountability. So we haven't really talked about accountability. Accountability happens on the dashboard. So for me, accountability in this particular area means I need to have a certain number of leads per day, per week, per month, per year. And this is the only one that I actually kind of need a kick in the butt a little bit. It's telling me you're behind. You need 21 leads this week. You got 5 days left, and it looks like you're only going to get 7 leads. It's not hard for me to actually go out, find the leads, get them put into here. It's just a habit that needs to form and needs to happen. And so the only reason I don't have a lot of leads is because I'm doing a lot of demos right now. So I'm not focused right now on buying assets as much as bringing DealStory out. And you can go down and look at other things here. Like I have leads that are things that are actually overdue that I should need to go follow up with. These shows me my recent activity as well. So we have a dashboard that's continuing to evolve, and we'll have a deals dashboard as well that shows you what's in your pipeline, what your underwriting status is, what deals need attention and why. So this was my accountability thing. And so I had a really good time getting this done. And what I think it brings to me, what I know it brings to me as someone who's looking for RV parks, is I found out very quickly, like looking at 10 leads is not going to do it. I'm going to have to look at a lot of leads. I'm going to have to underwrite a lot of those leads. And if I want to make more money, if I want today, right now cash, I also want to bird dog leads, which means I not only need to underwrite them very quickly, but categorize them very quickly. Some of the things that you can do with a lead is actually go in, and this will be true of everyone, is you can do due diligence reports where you can come in, add basic comments, like add any financials you have, operations, any seller notes. These are things that you would show the buyer. Let me show you what that actually looks like with the deal. Let's go here. Go to months. So you can see that, like, the overall sentiment, I did some pretty good notes in here. These are real notes actually on this park. Found at least 6 RV parks like competition that are here. Here's a little secret. It's not hard to give a buyer a lead. It's easy to give a buyer a lead. You just go to Crexy and copy it and send it to them, right? But that's not real bird dogging. Bird dogging is find out everything you can about this park to help that buyer move quicker. We don't want them to have to do the homework. We want to do the homework as much as possible. So this helps you get some homework done. If you're doing site visits or anything, get those pictures in there, and then we'll go to underwriting. So we're going to see underwriting in just a second. One of the things that we have is also lead facts, which is sort of like a Carfax. It's the nutshell of the deal itself. Won't spend a lot of time in here, but these are for the visionaries that want that quick narrative and some pictures. And then for the people that want the numbers about this deal, you'll be able to share this with people as a deep link soon, where they'll get it and they'll come back into DealStory and view it just like we're viewing it today. And then AI analysis. Now, I'm not going to run the AI analysis right now because it can take about a minute. The AI analysis is going to go in and it's going to find out so many different things about this. And this prompt is written in a way to prevent hallucinations, as they're called in the AI world. And one of the cool things is it's going to help you find red flags in the deal, which is really, really important. Like, is it in a floodplain, for instance? It'll come up with questions for you to ask the broker. And it's just really, really cool. And so before I move on with that, are there any questions as we move into our next section? Because we're about to move into underwriting.
I had a quick one on your dashboard.
Yeah.
Do we have the ability to customize the dashboard to only show like the certain things that may apply to us specifically? Or is it just a set what it shows?
That's a great idea, Megan. I want to do that. Yeah. That is a goal. I wanted to do that. It's not there yet, but I do want to do that because you're right. Like, some people don't want to see 6 boxes here. They may not want to see a whole year. They may just want to focus on the week. Yeah. Did you have any specific ideas behind something like you might want to see?
No, I just figured based on, your different avatars, what you're working on, if your focus is like the deals themselves, if it's more on connections, you may want to be seeing, different
Oh,
things
yeah.
top of view versus
Good
where
idea.
it's placed.
I've been trying to break them up into a lead dashboard, a deals dashboard, and next will become a connections dashboard.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Really nice.
That's
That's
good.
really nice. I like it.
Any other thoughts, questions before we move on? This is great stuff. Thanks, Megan. Okay, so let's go back to the leads network and let's go find ourselves an underwriting scenario. Well, today we're going to talk about underwriting, but we're going to talk about commercial asset, which is an RV park again. We are adding the single family home, so we'll have that for you, Tara, coming soon. And so I like you, I actually like underwriting, but I did all my underwriting in Excel. So I'm an Excel guru. I'm really good at it. But what was really frustrating for me was spending hours and hours and hours getting it all ready and sitting in front of my partners, and they question something and we look there and there's a cell error. And now the whole spreadsheet, you can't trust it. And there's just too much money on the line just to say, oh, well, it's only one error, right? Now I got to go spend a lot of time looking at it again. So I knew I could do this. I knew I could make it better and make a tool that would be fast. So looking at underwriting from the top to the bottom, when we start off, we have 3 different things. It's in draft, meaning it's not ready. It's not completed yet. It's in review, meaning we've done it. We need someone to come behind and look at it, double check what we're doing. And approved means we like all the numbers here. We can make decisions off of this. And so with my goal is, if you're on the free tier, which we call the bird dog tier right now, you don't get these tabs right here, which we'll look at. You just get this tab right here, which is pretty good. And what it does is you fill in these numbers that are here, like your sales price, your down payment, interest rate and term, and expense ratio, which we can get from the P&Ls from the businesses. And it'll give you a pro forma of what it looks like if you bought this business at that price. It's pretty good, right? But if we want to get more advanced, we actually can go and actually underwrite these streams. And I'm going to take some of these out here so I can show you how easy this actually is. And all we're doing is the first thing I usually do is I'll take the P&L and I'll make their P&L work first, right? And then I'll go and model the revenue on another tab. And I've got to model the seasonality, stabilization, and then there's all the different scenarios. And there's a lot of jumping around in tabs and worksheet formulas. But here, all you have to do, if I want to add a new, let's just add some more revenue. I'm going to come here and just pick revenue. This is RV park specific. So let's just say I want to add some more. Let's add some more cabins. And they're either long-term stays or short-term stays. Let's just call them short-term stays. And we're going to put them in, let's say we'll put in 5 in year 2. And we'll say because they're short-term stays, they're just going to be $220 a month. They're probably not going to start off at 85% occupancy. They'll probably just be 30% occupancy. And then in the shoulder season, like in March, when people stop coming as much, the price will go down. Let's just say 190. And it's probably like, let's just say 25 and then 175. Let's just say we'll play with the numbers, whatever it's going to be. And it calculates what your annual revenue is. But here's the really cool thing. Now we can set up stabilization. What stabilization means is I want to get my occupancy up from 30 up to where I want it to be, right? To get the max revenue. So I just go here and just say, well, let's stabilize it by year 4. We're putting it in year 2, right? And let's just say we want to have it 90. You can change these numbers. This is where we're starting. And we'll just say in the off season, we're going to stick around 30. And that's going to play into this down in a few minutes, but it allows, when we go to the pro forma, we're looking down here, you'll see the numbers start jumping up. And we're going to come back and look at why that's happening in a second. You can also model your expenses. So usually what I'll do is just take their P&L and I'll just start entering the lines in very quickly. You can also set up the growth rate individually because not everything grows at the same rate. Some things are fixed costs, some things are variable costs. And one of the things I didn't talk about in revenue streams is you can also set up your COGS. So if you have a store, COGS are your cost of goods. Like if you're selling shirts and mugs and things in your store. And so COGS allow you to figure out what your margin is off of that. So I can say, well, maybe I'm only going to target 35% profit margin. So that means that I'll have to buy 11,700 worth of stuff and I'll make about $6,300 off of that. And then we can also, with RV parks, we model seasonality. This is really important because I was looking at a park in Pagosa Springs, and while they weren't closed, they were one of the only parks that stayed open because it's wintertime. It doesn't really snow that bad, and they have a huge ski population that comes into that town. And all we need to do was just add some tiny homes or cabins, or maybe even add some RV units for people to rent. And because look how many days there are in the off season compared to the peak season. We were going to be able to double their revenue basically just by knowing the seasonality. And then we have CapEx where you can come here, add your CapEx projects. Like I want to add a dog park or road signage. And by the way, CapEx is a fancy term for value add, things that we can do to increase the revenue at this asset, right? And we can turn them on and off and see them show up in the spreadsheet down here, which we'll see in a second. And then the last thing is loan modeling. And this is where everybody will nowadays go to AI, which is very dangerous, and just write in, hey, tell me what the loan payment is going to be on this. Or maybe they have a spreadsheet to do it really, really quickly. But here the cool thing is you can add these very easily. Like if I don't even have this one, we can delete this. And I want to go say, okay, well, this says I've got my bank loan. I have a gap of 1.3 million. I got to get that from somewhere. I'm going to come up and get it from a PML. And I have a gap of 1.3 million here. So let's add that here, 1.3. And maybe I can stack another loan because maybe my PML is not really going to be 1.3, but just the idea that you can build this. It's got interest rate of probably 10% or 12% since it's a PML, and it's interest only, probably for 5 years. And we'll just save and close it. And then you can also model your refinance. This one's going to happen in year 6. Okay, so we've modeled the revenue, we've modeled the expenses, the seasons, the CapEx, the loan modeling, and all of that flows into our pro forma, which we call our yearly financial metrics. And so a pro forma, some of you would look at this and go, oh, well, that's a P&L, a profit and loss statement. And all that is your budget. So if you're not familiar with underwriting, all this is saying is this the money I'm bringing in? This is my revenue. These are all my expenses. And this is what's left over, my net operating income. And that's what we use to pay our debt service with. And anything left over is our cash flow. That's what we get to take home. So if I want to see my CapEx breakdown, I can just toggle this on and you'll see the dog park comes in year 3. If I want to see my expense breakdown, I can toggle this and kind of break my brain for a second to try to read it all, right? It's a lot. Same thing with my revenue breakdown or even my debt service breakdown. So this is pretty cool. Remember I showed you we were going to refinance in year 6. So let's put this out to year 10 and make it fit the screen so we can see everything. And it's really tiny, but what you see here is our senior bank loan and PML all the way to year 5. And then we refinance. Oops, and I forgot to pay off the PML. I have to go back and fix that. But even with that, this is still a pretty good deal. We should buy it. We should get it as a team, right? You guys want to buy this deal? Okay. Yes, let's buy it. Now, taking this a bit further, we continue to show you like what's the year 1 performance and what are hold periods. Guys, when you buy any business, whether it's a single family home or a business, you have to always have your exit in mind from the very beginning. Telling you this from experience for someone who didn't do that. It was not a good experience exiting that business. And this shows you what it's like to hold this business, even though it's not a very realistic scenario, where we can say, I want to exit in year 5. And let's say I bought this at what's called a 10 cap. What would happen is that 10 cap, I had to come in and maybe they didn't have good marketing, they had bad occupancy, and now I've stabilized that asset. I've made it better. That means that we can probably sell it at what's called a compressed cap rate. So if we sold it at 10, we might be able to sell it at 8. So let's look at 10. So what does that do? A cap rate helps us know what the value of the asset is based on their NOI. So if it's at 24 million now and I compress that cap rate, you can see that that goes up. Obviously, it's not a realistic deal, or we'd all be buying it right now for this price, but it gives you an idea of what it's like to hold this business, and it'll give you the ability also to take your partners in here and show this and tell them the story, because really at the end of the day, the story is what matters. The story is what gets your partners involved and want to do this. The story is what gets the PML, besides the numbers, behind you. Everybody that's on your team needs to understand the story of this deal. And now I'm going to show you how we got our name. So one of my pain points was I'm in front of my partners. I've spent hours and hours underwriting the deal. And now I'm sitting in front of them in a Zoom. My wife, who's my great partner, very good partner, is sitting next to me. My partners are in the Zoom, other part of the world. And I'm trying to explain the deal to them, going back and forth between tabs to show them stuff. So when I did this, I thought I want to be able to tell them the story of the deal. So you'll notice that this has gone up from 1 million to 1.3. So I put this analysis button in here to come up and tell you. First, it gives you a narrative of why it's going up. Like our revenue grew by 27%. We have a new revenue stream. These are for the visionaries that can't stand the numbers. For the folks that can stand the numbers, we go to the full analysis and we show you why we had this increase. Well, we had new revenue. We had 102,000 come online thanks to this cabin, and it's only 33% stabilized. And as we move down, we can actually see the stabilization in our pro forma that we're saying right now that we're at 59% of target and 82% of target in all of our things that we're trying to stabilize in our pro forma. And the very first demo I gave prior to it being called DealStory was with a guy named Judah DeVilvis of Everbridge Capital. And I show him that and he says, oh, it's telling the story of the deal. And then I show the same thing to my partner and he says, oh, it's telling the story of the deal. And later I'm looking for my name for the business and I come up with DealStory after all these different names that didn't work. I thought there's no way, there's no way that domain's not taken, but I'm going to look anyway. And it wasn't taken. It was like God was saying, get it right now. So I did that. I didn't ask for permission. I just did it. So there's where the name DealStory came from. Now I'm going to stop and give you guys a chance to ask questions and just tell me, do you think this is going to help you?
Without a doubt. Well, I do know that once I have several fix and flips under my belt, my husband and I do plan to invest in something big. And then, as you know, us moms also want to invest in something big ourselves. I really think that underwriting is going to be huge for us. And of course, finding deals. But, and of course, as you know, I love the networking part. But, so yeah, I think it's just going to be a huge help for all of us.
I love that it kind of walks you through the underwriting. Like as we're going through, we've talked about doing the homework. Like I get the basics of underwriting, but there's these big words. And I really like, I don't know if you pointed it out when I stepped away, but I like that you can hover over these words like NOI and it explains what it is. I think it's very good I think it's going to help me learn to underwrite as I'm going through it a lot better than I would if I was just trying to get it from a bunch of different outside resources.
Cool. Thank you.
I also love the fact that you've designed something that everybody in the industry can benefit from. Not just certain people, not just gators, not just investors, not just lenders, and not just TCs. All of us can have an account and benefit from it. I think that's really cool.
I'm going to tell you a story real quick. One last thing before we move on, because we're getting close to the end of the demo. So we have an AI underwriter, and the AI underwriter doesn't underwrite for you. But what it does is it looks at your underwriting, it sends it to the AI underwriter, and we need to find a name for him, guys. So if we can find a name, that'd be cool. Anyway, so I'm sitting in my recliner, and my wife is watching the Rangers game. She's a Rangers fanatic. I'm just trying to be close. And I hook up AI for the first time and send my first thing. And I'm underwriting a deal for an RV park that's only 20 minutes away from my house. I love this park. I really, really want it. They're just asking $1 million too much. And I put in a new revenue stream for a tiny home. And I put in $850 a month. And I send it. And I'm not even thinking about this. And it comes back and it's telling me, hey, these are the things that you did good. These are the things that you need bad, and not bad, but these are the things you need to work on. And then one of the things it says in the risk area, $850 a month is highly unlikely in East Texas where I live. Rates are between $500 and $650 per month. I literally start jumping up and down in my seat in the recliner going, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And my wife's looking at me, what's going on? It's like, you don't understand. This is huge. Just the fact that you've got this underwriting that you've done, you can send it to this AI underwriter and he can point out your flaws in your underwriting. And look, guys, there's a lot of money at stake and it's so helpful. Now, I also put in a disclaimer in the underwriting that should be here. Actually, I don't see it right now. There should be a disclaimer here. There it is. Like, when you go do this, I mean, you probably want to go get a pro underwriter, but what is so important about this is that it allows you to know, number one, you can do the underwriting yourself. You can make sure it works before you're spending the money on the pro underwriter. You can come and you can do your what if scenarios. And I love this. I can sit in front of my partners and do what if scenarios, and they're not bogged down by the numbers. They're supercharged by the story of what's happening. They don't have to wait. I love that. And then I just love the fact that I can send it to my AI analysis and it tells me what I've done right, what I've done wrong. And that's it. So I'm going to let Ellen close us off and tell a little bit about your group, because people came in a little bit late, may not have had a chance to find out about the moms group. And I really want you to have a chance to do that. For those of you that want to stay for a little bit longer, I'll take you behind the scenes and I'm going to show you how DealStory is becoming the world's first trust platform. talk about your group again? I want to learn about it, and then we'll close off.
Yeah, I know there's some moms in here that aren't in the group. We're all moms that are involved in creative real estate. We started this group just to be a network of people that could connect with one another who understand each other. And it's grown into something so beautiful. We share wins and challenges together. We do deals together. We had somebody today, she's an agent and she's just going to help get us some proof of funds for free when people normally charge for that. We just have resources. It's safe to network together in this community. We can show up ourselves on these Zooms and in the chat, ask questions. It's been so great. Seriously, some of my best friends that I love our meetings. We are focused right now on inviting guest speakers to talk to us, to educate us on buying a property together as a group. And that's super fun because we have people who are ready to jump in and invest, but we also have a lot of moms that are wanting to just shadow. They're new and they want to watch it happen. And so this is a chance to be a part of that, whether you just want to watch or you want to do. We're really excited.
And you're not just new moms, right? We can have grandmoms too,
Yeah, thanks for
Mimi's and
bringing that up.
Gigi's.
We are moms of all different ages, all different backgrounds. Some of us are empty nesters. Some of us have young kids. It's been really cool actually to learn from one another. There's people who are super experienced in real estate, people who have just started. And in the past 5 months, I've been able to watch so many new people like really make it and do awesome things. So yeah, we're all different people here.
And you've grown to 100 members in only 5 months, which is pretty amazing. I want to hear from some of the other moms. Yeah, I want to hear from some of the other moms. Like, how has Creative Moms changed your life?
Well, I've learned a lot, but it's also very therapeutic.
Okay.
Like we genuinely look forward to sitting down and just chatting with each other about life. And every week when we get together, we always share our challenges. And it's not necessarily always about real estate. Sometimes it's about personal. And all of us just understand and we're there for each other. It's been life-changing because I've met some of the best people I've ever met my whole life just in this group.
Amazing.
It definitely feels a need for those who are working from home and don't get out much. I don't have friends that I go and hang out with and talk to and stuff, and being able to talk to somebody who kind of, in the same boat and kind of understands what you're, when you get excited about a deal or about a connection or something, they get you, so that's really nice. And they're really good at if you want to cry on their shoulders too. So if you're having a stressful day. So
I
it's
really
been
like
great.
the support. I
Yeah.
love the support of this group. It has been definitely, like Megan said, that it's hard to make friends sometimes that understand you or that cheer you up on your stuff. So this group has been, like Tara said, therapeutic too. So it's I love it. I love it, honestly.
Yeah, we've grown just from really, it's not even me. I just, the other ladies, they invite people when they see a new mom, not a new mom per se, but someone they haven't met and stuff too that is a mom, or Gator or top tier. They're inviting them in and it's been really cool. Every time somebody joins the chat, we all give them a warm welcome, and it's grown so much that I'm like a little overwhelmed. And so I've been lucky enough to have Hannah from the beginning as like a co-host help me start this. She's a very dear friend of mine and partner. And now Tara as well has kind of stepped up to help us bring more value to the group. It's just been, I didn't think this would happen. I thought it would be one Zoom, but we really are a family here and we're growing fast, and we just want to keep bringing value to each other.
I love that. I want to be a mom right now. Like I can't do it, but I think I bet I can say this. People outside of your group probably think you're crazy.
Yes, that's why we did this.
They
People
think
we're in a
you should
cult.
really just be careful. I have people that lost everything and you don't know what you're doing, right? And inside your group, what I hear is it's just very uplifting. Like, we got this. It's positivity. I love that. So thank you so much, Ellen, for giving me this opportunity. I'm sorry. You go ahead and say real quick.
I was just gonna say, if you're interested in joining now, or if you're watching this video, you can find me on Facebook, Ellen Layton. You can look up Hannah Sager, and I have a big Moms Connect thing on my background. If you're a part of any of the creative communities, you're welcome to join. We'd love to have you.
Okay, we'll put your contact up there as well. Well, I would say thank you for the opportunity. We did another video earlier, and we had a group of your ladies that came in and became beta testers, and right away had a big impact and had ideas that have already surfaced in DealStory. And we'll hopefully you can start another Zoom like that, not Zoom, but a meeting, and we'll make that happen. And I appreciate it.